Hello, everyone. Hi, Nikolai. Uh,
Andrea.
Welcome, everyone. I can see the audience list is getting bigger by the second, so I'll just start slowly by welcoming everyone here. I can see the number going up every second that we speak, so that's a good sign. We have a lot of registrants for today's webinar. I want to give a chance to everyone to participate, so I'll just really go slow for the start. Perfect, number is increasing. All right, just a bit of introduction for me and Nikolai. My name is Andrea Baccinetti. I'm VP of Strategic Initiatives here at Boostlingo, and I'm covering all the go-to-market activities for Boostlingo Events. Nikolai, I'll leave it to you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I am Nicola Bendix, born and raised in Denmark, VP of Technical and Digital Innovation. So I take care of some digital and technical and innovation initiatives, and primarily also work a lot with AI.
Great, and that's why Nikolai is a key resource here for speaking about unlocking AI in Boostlingo Events. As we get started, just a few housekeeping matters. The chat is disabled, but please feel free to send us questions. You can do so by basically opening up the menu on your right and selecting the Ask a Question. We will dedicate some minutes to the Q&A at the end of the webinar. AI captions and AI Spanish interpretation are available throughout the webinar. So you can go ahead and try them out as we speak by clicking on the captions and language buttons that you can see at the bottom of the interface. And last but not least, if you would like to experience this in a bring your own device type of experience, you can go ahead and scan this QR code and enjoy the webinar also from your phone. Remember, the functionalities there are limited. This is more for showing the experience of you being at an event, for example, and wanting to have captions and interpretation via your mobile. Great. So for those of you that don't know Boostlingo, we are a technology company focused on interpretation technologies. We have offices in many parts of the world with headquarters in Austin, Texas, and actually offices also in Denmark here, where both Nikolai and myself are located. We have a variety of products that are supporting interpretation technologies in general, interpretation modes like simultaneous and consecutive, and any type of interpretation that you might need. Boostlingo Event is the platform that we are going to experience today. We also have Boostlingo AI Pro, our AI personal tool that we launched a few months ago. Boostlingo On Demand, focus on on-demand interpretation with high-quality interpreters over the phone and on video. And Boostlingo IMS, that is a product for managing your interpretation resources. The journey of Boostlingo so far with AI has been pretty extensive already. We started just about a year ago. We have joined the Safe AI Task Force. We're really proud of contributing to this industry task force, which is really important across all the stakeholders. Following that, we have published a report and presented a webinar just about almost a year ago on the state of AI in language services. Nikolai and I have already hosted two webinars this year on AI. The first was the AI in the language industry back in February, and then the AI Pro launch back in April. If you're interested to any of these resources, please reach out to us or just visit boostlingo.com. Great. So we'll Today is all about Boostlingo events. For those who have never experienced Boostlingo events, and I guess a lot of you have never been on this platform, well, Boostlingo events is the platform that we're currently using, and it's a platform for hosting multilingual events on site, virtually, or hybrid using live simultaneous interpretation. We have worked a lot, and actually Nikolai and his team have worked a lot in the past few months to integrate the AI technologies that we have developed in-house in Boostlingo into Boostlingo events as well. And as of today, Boostlingo is AI powered. So it becomes more of a software than just a platform. I'll explain in just a second why. First of all, we have added AI captions. I hope a lot of you have tried them already. You can open them up from the menu at the bottom. We have introduced AI translation, so the captions can also be translated in any of language that you select. And furthermore, you can also select the voice and have the captions read out by an AI. The three components there basically are giving you a full AI interpretation experience from speech to speech, from one language to another. With all that packed into the platform, obviously we can also create multilingual transcripts that can be retrieved, as well as summaries per language. So imagine that you are hosting an event or meeting and you would like to retrieve the transcript or having the summaries and disseminate that to the participants, you can do that through our dashboard. A really cool feature that is also AI powered, that is basically perhaps not showing really directly, but really powers up the engine underneath, is the automatic floor language detection. The platform is capable basically of understanding which language the speaker is speaking and automatically route the languages in the correct way. So if a speaker speaks, let's say, Spanish, then the routing of the interpretation will change from Spanish to English in this case. This is really important because it enables people then to just freely participate in their own language during an event. And last but not least, and the reason why I inserted a software more than just a platform is that we are fully integrated with Zoom and Teams thanks to a application that is native on both platforms, which basically powers up MS Teams and Zoom with AI interpretation. And I believe that a lot of you might be interested also in this way of using interpretation. So if you're interested in seeing that, please do reach out. I hope everything is clear here on the AI front, and I hope you've been playing around with the captions and the language. So again, if you haven't done so, just click on the bottom. You can open up the captions and you can select a different language. Now, a few words about Boostlingo Events at its core. For those who don't know the platform so well, the platform was built to support simultaneous interpretation. So we come from the world of human interpreters interpreting remotely. Obviously, the technology now also allows for AI interpretation. And what we see is a combination of both being used nowadays. We'll talk a little more about that in just a second. The platform also allows for a full multilingual experience. The slides can be translated so that whoever watches a webinar or a meeting in another language will see the slides in that language. So if you want to give it a try, select Spanish. Even if you don't understand Spanish, you will see the slide translated into Spanish. Chat and polling are also available and translatable real time. So you can write messages in whatever language and they will be translated. That's really important to ensure that all your attendees can interact in their own language. Last but not least, on the multilingual experience, also the interface can be localized and the recordings can be localized in the sense that we record all the languages at once. Access is via computer, tablet, or mobile. Hopefully, you have tried scanning the QR code at the beginning to see how it looks on a mobile should you use this platform to power up your on-site events. It's really customizable, so we support virtual events, on-site events, and everything in between, where everything in between the hybrid meeting type is where any of the parties can be not necessarily located together. So you can have some speakers that are virtual, even though an event is on site. You can have remote attendees, even if the event is on site. And you can have a mix of interpreters, some on site, some remote, and some AI. It's really advanced. Also, it has advanced features that are really useful for advanced users like RTMP and integration with Dante networks for basically streaming out to on-site interpretation equipment. Last but not least, we come from the world of events. We have served thousands and thousands of events over the years. We know that an event that has interpreters on, a lot of people on, is a high stake event. And for that reason, we have all the bells and whistles that are necessary to guarantee a superb experience to all the users. We have a technician interface to basically monitor everything that is going on during an event behind the scenes, similarly to what will happen at an on-site event where you see all the technicians at the back of the room making sure that the event is a success. And on top of that, we have live support as an add-on, which you can have on your event. And in that case, there would be somebody monitoring your event constantly when you are hosting it. So what it's been used for so far? Where are the use cases, both for human and AI interpretation? We'll start from the first one, that is the multilingual meetings. This is a good scenario where Events is used on a regular basis. This can be meetings of 2 or 3 people multilingually and many hundreds of people speaking more than 10 languages. We have ev- everything in between those two scenarios. Really, the platform is built to be multilingual, so you can have interpreters going forth and back in many directions. We also have a relay interpretation that ensures that interpretation can happen in between all the different languages into an event. And it's being used like this on a regular basis. Obviously, with also the world going back finally to on-site events, we support on-site hybrid events. This represents a huge cost saving for event organizers by enabling remote simultaneous interpretation. Again, either human or AI powered, or with caption AI generated, where you can really give your attendees a full multilingual experience. This is happening on a daily basis. And the beauty of events on site is that the plug and play is really, really easy. We then have the webinar and town halls type of use case. Webinar is similar to what we're currently doing. So where you have only 2 speakers, me and Nikolai, giving you a presentation. That's something that is used quite a lot, and we can support a lot of languages at the same time. There's no problem for that. I think the largest event we streamed to 25 languages at the same time, where the CEO of a company was giving a speech to all the employees around the world. So really, town halls, webinars, it's a really great way for engaging for companies, all the workforce. We also cover events on third-party app. As mentioned before, we do have a Zoom app, a Teams app that basically add the AI component to those application. But also with human interpretation, we can cover any type of third-party application by adding the interpretation on top of the communication happening on other platforms. And last but not least, you can use this platform also for powering up live stream of multilingual events and multilingual content. Thanks to our RTMP integration, you can basically then send a audio and video feed to different channels, let's say on YouTube or Vimeo or Facebook Live or whatever you, basically sending audio channels on different languages so that whoever is following your live stream will be able to follow the live stream in their preferred language. I'll
Andrea, I'm getting a couple of reports that your headset might not be fully functioning and the
oh,
audio is a little choppy. So I do apologize for that. I'm not sure if you can, if there's a faulty wire or something. But let's continue. I think you have just continue on this slide. I think the next slide is mine, and I'll try and yeah, and chip in where I can.
I- I'll check my mic in the meantime. Thanks a lot, Nikolai. I'll give it to you then.
Alrighty, thank you. So yeah, what's next in AI? It's been a journey. Here at Boostlingo, we do see we work a lot with AI. We have two general concept for AI. We have what we call specific language AI, linguistic AI, and then we have a term called general AI, which is basically the rest. Of course, we focused here in the beginning with the linguistic AI, so multilingual captions, AI interpretation, and summaries and transcriptions. We believe we are quite far there yet, so that's on the now piece. The future is well planned, and we have a ton of features we want to put in here and slowly move into something that's a little less linguistic as well. We've already done something on the hybrid approach in terms of being able to uh, mix human interpretation with AI or have AI support interpreters in various ways. We do a lot on the pre and post. That's the plan for next. Where can we use AI to support the planning phase of events, and where can we use AI to support the post production or the after the event phase? So that's all coming quite soon. We do have an eye on the longer run as well. We watch very carefully what's going on around the AI landscape. We see a lot of the regulations that are coming. There are coming a lot of acts in Europe and US. So we are monitoring that with great care because we want to be ready when they come in terms of privacy and in terms of compliance and in terms of fairness. We see AI becoming better and better everywhere we look, more and more refined, more and more contextual. So of course we're going to implement that and follow the industry standards there as well, where context might be a few sentences now, soon 6 to 12 months out, perhaps it's actually more refined, and we look at a very larger contextual window. So we're super excited about that. And in the middle here, we have put equal access. I think equal access is the reason why many of us are in the language industry, and of course we have very good eye on being able to support equal access to communication to everybody wherever they are. So of course that is for us the flag post. That's what we are super ambitious about and super grateful to be able to help bring out into the world with just being a small part of that revolution. So yeah, so that's it from me.
Thanks a lot, Nikolai. Um, for those of you listening, again, with the audio issue, I think we had some reports of some users, but not everyone. Some other people are saying that everything is working fine on their end. So hopefully you can hear me better now. Um, all right, that basically concludes the sneak peek of the Unlocking AI in Boostlingo events. We want to dedicate now the last part to question and answers. So I will ask you to just open up the Q&A button. Just open the menu on your right and then click on ask a question. And I can see some questions popping up already. So feel free to just post them there. I'll go ahead and start reading from the top. And here we have a good question here. How does the interpretation get integrated into MS Teams or third-party application? And how do we do a Q&A when participant is speaking into another language? That's a great question. So depending on the application, we have a different wave of integrating. Specifically for Zoom and Teams, we do have native apps that will connect to your meeting and basically get the audio video from that meeting and running it through our engines. The audio back is then sent via our widget, which you can open on your on a browser, on your phone, and basically experience the audio from there. The tool allows for the interpretation going multidirectionally. Obviously, this applies for both AI and human. So whenever a participant, let's say in a Q&A, speaks a different language, then the engine will just route the audio in the other direction. I hope that answered the question. Feel free to follow up if you have any additional questions on that topic, and obviously we can give you a demo for that. There is a question regarding whether simultaneous interpreters need to be on site. Well, the platform was built to have simultaneous interpreters not necessarily on site, so to have them remote. We do support a variety of setup though. So you might have some interpreters on site and some remote, and the platform will accommodate that. The platform has a so-called mixer, which can be integrated with on-site interpretation equipment, powered with Dante networks or even analog. And in that way, you can basically route the audio channels no matter where they are coming from. So again, on-site or remote. So both is a possibility. Obviously, the platform started with the idea of cutting the cost of having interpreters on site by providing remote simultaneous interpretation. There's a question here about where can I change languages for the listening into a different language. Well, there's a menu at the bottom where it says your language, floor. For those of you who are not familiar with the concept of floor, basically floor is the language of whoever is speaking. From there, you can then select the correct routing of the language. So in this case, you can select Spanish if you want to try it out. There's a great question about the delay for the AI voice and how long is that? Well, the answer is a little complicated, and I don't have a specific answer for you because it really depends on many factors. The AI voice needs to be fed by some type of captions in the destination language or target language. For doing that, we first need to understand whatever the person is saying. So caption the person. We will then run our translation engine, And then once we have run that, we can give it voice into the other language. Some of these tasks need a little bit of time, and specifically if you are using, for example, long sentences, or your audio is bad and not super intelligible, like some of you are have been saying about my audio, then the AI might need a little more time to catch up. We have seen, though, that an average of a few seconds is necessary and for the AI to start picking up. If you imagine in a more of a monodirectional setup, like we're doing today in a webinar setup, then the um, delay will not matter that much, as you will constantly getting content delivered to you. I have here a question regarding to capture the content from a Zoom meeting. Our company needs to have the Zoom subscription. Um, Not necessarily. You can use our app with your free Zoom account. Obviously, if you're running a meeting on Zoom, you must have an account on Zoom. However, we can power up the free trial account or free Zoom account as well. Obviously, there are some limitation that Zoom puts on the length of the meeting, but that's unrelated to our services. Um, I see some nice comments. Thanks a lot. Also, sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye here. Um, there's some people asking for it to be called, so I will definitely follow up on everything that's coming here on the chat. There is a question here. Is there a list of languages for which AI-powered interpretation is available? Yes, we'll send over the link, but on our support website, there is a list of languages available. There is a question here. Does Boostlingo Events have a widget on top of Teams and Zoom, or is it recommended to access the mobile app with a second device and earphones for remote users? That's a great question. So we do have a widget or app on both Teams and Zoom. However, for the time being, the audio will be sent together. If you open up the audio from there, will be sent together with the floor audio, and that's why a separate widget on a browser or a second device is recommended. There's an interesting question about the technical control for interpreters that we have. We have a really powerful operator or technical interface where we can monitor all the audio and video feeds. And specifically for this question asking about the interpreters monitoring, we can monitor interpreters. We can help them with the setup of the microphone and change their microphone remotely. We can force the switch of two interpreters. We can change the target and the source of each interpreter individually. So there's a lot of features that are packed on the operator interface. Some questions here. What are the ideal use case scenarios for the tool? Well, we have a slide on that, so we'll just make sure that we in the recording you will be able to see the what we have talked about a few moments ago. We have seen this used in a variety of setup, both meetings, webinars, on-site events, everything that basically need language access. And yeah, I think that is pretty much, there's something actually, sorry, there's more questions coming in. We are at the half-hour mark, so I just want to be mindful of everyone's time. I'll take the last question before wrapping up. We have actually a really interesting question. How do you determine the ideal use case for human interpreting versus AI to your customers? That's a great question. We are, in fact, working now on some recommendations, or in terms of documentation that we can share out of where you should use one or the other. We see a lot of, most of the times, that customers make their choice. We help the customers making their choice by highlighting, what are the pitfalls for AI in some cases, and what are the advantages. Obviously, AI is less expensive than a human interpreter. However, in terms of accuracy sometimes, or specific lingo, they might not be recommended for all the use cases. Just to give you an idea, we recently hosted some union negotiations on our platforms, and that is a scenario where we would not advise our client to use AI interpreters. And that's about it. I know there are some other questions popped in just now. We are running, actually, we have run out of time, so I want to be mindful for everyone's time, and we'll make sure to follow up to your questions. And if you have any additional question, feel free to email us or just reach us on our website, get in touch with us, and we can definitely talk. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Again, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.